press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello dear students, so let me continue system of particles and rotational motion, lecture number 21. Okay, so anyhow in the last classes we have covered some problems which are based on moment of inertia, and I hope you understand the cavity problems, how to solve the cavity questions. Now let us see next concept from system of particles and rotational motion. So read on the next one, conservation of angular momentum. So read on the next heading, law of conservation of angular momentum. Law of conservation of angular momentum. So read the heading, law of conservation of angular momentum. So anyhow, you know in laws of motion chapter you have studied already conservation of linear momentum, so that you know in the absence of some external force, the total linear momentum of the body remains constant. In the same way here, in the absence of external torque, because the force in laws of motion, the force is useful to set the body into motion in the laws of okay, here force replaced by torque. So from law of conservation of angular momentum, in the absence of external torque, the total angular momentum of the system of particles remains constant. The total angular momentum of a system of particles remains constant. Anyhow, you know the relation between torque and angular momentum we covered in the previous sessions. Of course, you know the basic definition of angular momentum, L is equals to mvr. I calculated angular momentum when a body moving along the axis in a xy plane, and if the body rotates in a circular motion, we got the angular momentum, that is also mvr. If a rigid body rotates, we got angular momentum, L is equals to I omega. See, in previous sessions already basic formulas related to angular momentum is covered. Now today is conservation of angular momentum. So anyhow we know that tau external, which is equivalent to dl by dt. Of course this is a vector. So from law of conservation of momentum, in the absence of external torque, if external torque acting on the system of particles 0, okay, then dl by dt is equal to 0. As dl by dt 0, dl is equals to 0. Okay, so that is L is constant. L we know it can be written as I omega constant. So tell me, what is the statement of law of conservation of angular momentum? In the absence of external torque, the total angular momentum of the system remains constant. Otherwise L is constant, otherwise I omega constant. And we can extend this formula also. As I omega constant, we can write I inversely proportional to omega. That means as I increases, what about omega? Like in same in laws of motion, mv constant. Okay, mv constant, m inversely proportional to v from conservation of linear momentum. Here I inversely proportional to omega. What is I? Moment of inertia of the body. Omega, angular velocity of angular momentum and the moment of inertia varies. For suppose, just recall in some circus, okay, in general things I am telling now. In a circus, let us suppose a person having some dumbbells in his hands. In a circus, a person having some dumbbells in his two hands like this, and he is standing on some circular turntable. Let us suppose a person having some dumbbells in his hands, and is standing on a circular turntable. When turntable set into rotation, when the circular turntable is rotates, and see he is holding some weights in his hands with some distance r. Okay, if we stretch the hands away from his body, see this is the body, and this body nothing but, according to our language, this is what? Axis of rotation. Now the person is standing on a circular turntable. If the turntable set into rotation, if the turntable rotates with an angular velocity omega, then person also moves. But person holds some dumbbells in his hand. Dumbbells have some mass, and this is the axis of rotation of the person. M is the mass. So from this axis, what is this distance? Ri given. If he stretches his hands away from his body, then what is increases? Mass and square of this distance is increases. Automatically, moment of inertia. Once the person stretches the hands away from his body, moment of inertia going to be increased. Got it? Moment of inertia increases. Once he stretches, then his speed of rotation will decrease. Just you observe in a circus. Once he stretches his hands away from his body, then his angular speed, no doubt it is decreases to conserve the angular momentum. In the same case you learned in laws of motion, when a person jumps from a boat with some momentum, then the boat will move back to conserve the linear momentum. In previous chapter you studied. Here, when person stretches the hands away from his body, moment of inertia increases, so that angular speed of rotation decreases to conserve the angular momentum. So as I increases, omega decreases. In the same thing, if the person folds his hand towards his body, then what happened? Moment of inertia decreases. Once the moment of inertia decreases, just you observe the speed of rotation of the person. No doubt the speed of rotation of the person increases. So if he close his hands towards his body, moment of inertia decreases. Automatically angular speed or angular velocity of the person increases to conserve angular momentum. So this is one of the application of law of conservation of angular momentum. Not only this, in a performing, if a dancer performing any dance, he will also follow conservation of angular momentum. So a dancer perform dance based on the law of conservation of angular momentum. Okay, when he stretches the hands away from his body, indirectly his moment of inertia increases, automatically the angular speed of rotation decreases to conserve the angular momentum. And a skater performs something, some pirouette or some somersaults. Means see, a skater performing some somersaults or the pirouette on the toy, some jumping system. Otherwise a diver is there, diver. If a person jumping from height of the board into the water, see in the middle of the air, he will close his body towards themselves. When he close, just observe the speed of rotation. Increases. Once he reaches the surface of water, he will stretch the body. Once he will stretch the body, then what happens? Moment of inertia increases, speed of rotation decreases. Okay, so all these are based on conservation of angular momentum. And see, here I got I omega as constant. I1 omega 1, we can write it as I2 omega 2. If they given two different bodies whose moment of inertia are I1, I2, angular velocity of rotations are omega 1, omega 2, we can write I1 omega 1 is equals to I2 omega 2. For suppose they given, in a problem they given, the radius of the earth. The radius of the earth is changes from r to some other value. maybe it may be increases or maybe decreases. For suppose they given one concept like this: if the radius of the earth shrinks, or if the radius of the earth reduced to half of its initial values, reduced to half of its initial value, then what happens to the time period of the day? Generally, time period of the day is how much? 24 hours. If the radius is changing without changing its mass, let us suppose if the radius of the earth is reduced to half of its initial value, half of its mass, then what is the length of the day? Generally, length of the day is 24 hours. Length nothing but time period. Length of the day is how much? 24 hours. Here, radius of the earth is something reduced to half. Then what happens to the length of the day? Okay, radius is shrinks to something r by n. Okay, right now r by 2. So what happens to the length of the day means we have to find the new time period of the earth, but mass remains same. Anyhow, we have a formula: I1 omega 1 is equals to I2 omega 2. So I1, let me write 2 by 5 m r1 square into omega 1. This is 2 by 5 m r2 square omega 2. Mass remains constant, they mentioned. If density remains constant, you will get one more formula. If density constant, you will get another formula. Okay. So 2 by 5 cancelled. R1, let us suppose R. Omega 1, 2 pi by T1. R2, R by 2. So R square by 4. Omega 2, 2 pi by T2. 2 pi, R square cancelled. So they are asking to find the new time period, T2. T2 is equals to T1 by 4. If T1 is the 24 hours, generally length of the day is how much? If R is the radius, m is the mass, length of the day is 24 hours. 24 by 4. So 6 hours. If it is reduced to r by n, okay, r by n means you will get n. So T2 is equals to something T1 by n square. What is n? Right now n is 2. In some problems, if they given, if density of the earth is constant, then what is the relation between time period of the earth and radius of the earth? Let us get that one. So here, what is conservation of angular momentum? In the absence of external torque, total angular momentum of system of particles remains constant. Anyhow, we derived formula tau is equals to r cross p for systems of particles. Okay, tau external I got, tau internal is 0. Finally, we got r cross p. Okay. So here I got T2 as 6 hours when mass is remains same. For suppose if density remains same, let us consider if density of the earth remains same, then what is the link up between new time period and old time period? If density of the earth remains same, then the new time period of the earth is, anyhow I am using the same formula, I1 omega 1, I2 omega 2. I1 is 2 by 5, density remains same, mass is not same, density is same, m1 r1 square. Okay, density remains same and radius let us suppose same. So not radius is something, radius is r, that's it. by something t. Okay, r1 is r, r1 is r. Okay, so here let me take I omega as a constant. That's a better idea. I omega constant, m is the mass. 2 by 5, this is constant, so mr square constant, m nothing but what? Volume into density, volume into density, r square by t constant. Volume of the earth 4 by 3 pi r cube, 4 by 3 pi r cube rho r square by t constant. 4 by 3 rho constant, r cube r square, so r power 5, r power 5, and this is t, so let me write r power 5 proportional to what? T. So t varies with r power 5, t varies with r power 5. If r1 is r, r2 is nr, you will get n power 5 like that. So t is directly proportional to the r power 5. You change this one. If t1 is given t, t2 is, if they ask you to find, you can find it. But how t and r varies? T proportional to r power 5. If r1 is r, r2 is nr, you will get n to the power of 5 like that you will get. Okay. Take this. Next I will continue one more thing. So write down the next heading. So write down the next one. Work done in rotational motion. Write down some simple formulas. Work done in rotational motion. Okay. So what is the work done in rotational motion? So simple equation actually this is. Say they given something body. Okay, directly we can write. And here, if I apply any force at this end, okay, if I apply any force at this end, after some time interval, maybe this part will move here with a small arc length. If r is the radius, if theta is the angle, then what is this arc length? R theta. Arc length nothing but r theta. So if this is the force, then there will be a torque about this point. Okay. Now the work done, we can write it as generally F into S in previous chapter. Fs here replaced by what? Fs replaced by tau. Of course that is possible. Tau is equals to r cross f, rf. Okay. So Fs, what is S? Arc length, r theta. Okay, if you want I will write all the steps. F into S. S nothing but arc length nothing but r theta. Okay. So Fr nothing but tau theta. No need of these derivations. So work done we can write it as tau bar dot theta bar, like F bar dot S bar. So keep the formula in mind. Rotational work done is tau dot theta, because based on this you try to solve problems from your assignment sheet. So work done is tau dot theta. Take this. And if they ask you to find out small work done, you can write tau into d theta. Okay. dw is equals to tau into d theta. And one more simple equation. Anyhow, kinetic energy we know half mv square. Rotational kinetic energy is half I omega square. Okay, half I omega square. So no need to write. And you know impulse. Linear impulse. How to get linear impulse? Large force acting on a body in a short time interval of time. In a short time interval. Here, a large torque acting on a body in a short time interval, we can call it as angular impulse. So write down one more formula, only basic formulas. use these formulas to solve your assignment problems. That's why I am doing these formulas now. Otherwise, directly we can expect angular impulse. Angular impulse. So angular impulse nothing but we can write. So I think you know P is equal to what? mv. mv. Otherwise, P is equal to, I think remember ft. dp or P is equals to integration of f into dt. Now in the same manner here you write it. L is equals to mv replaced by what? I omega. Otherwise, L is ft tau t. Otherwise, L is equals to integration of tau dt. So this is the formula for angular impulse. 0 to t, they will give proper numbers. So use this formula to solve your assignment sheets, because they given some questions based on these basic formulas. That's why I am doing all these things. Angular impulse. Now write down the one more formula. Work energy theorem in rotational motion. Work energy theorem in rotational motion. So recall the work energy theorem in previous chapter. Work done by the force which is equal to change in its kinetic energy. Work done by the force which is equivalent to change in its kinetic energy. Here work done by the torque. So work energy theorem in rotational motion. Work energy theorem in rotational motion. Formulas only I am writing, so no need to worry, just use these formulas to solve the problems. So work done by the torque which is equivalent to change in its rotational kinetic energy. Work done by the torque which is equivalent to change in its rotational kinetic energy. Rotational kinetic energy means half I omega simple formula, you write it. You know P square by 2m. In place of P, you write L square by 2m. So I think you remembered formula one more. P square by 2m, this is rotational kinetic energy is P square by 2m. P square L square by 2m. Okay. Minus Li square by 2m. Simple formulas. Okay. M is the mass. Sorry, M nothing but what? M is replaced by what? I. And you know in previous chapter, if two bodies are in from law of conservation of linear momentum, you know m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equals to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Now here write one more formula for conservation of angular momentum. I am writing basic formulas. If it is known, it's very happy. Otherwise, at least recall these formulas and solve some assignment sheets. Let us suppose they given one disk whose moment of inertia I1 rotating with an angular speed omega 1. Another disk whose moment of inertia I2 rotating with omega 2. Two circular disks whose moment of inertia are I1, I2. They are rotating initially with an angular velocities of omega 1, omega 2. Okay. So, initially they are rotating with an angular velocity of omega 1, omega 2. Then, if they combined, let us suppose if they placed one over the other, then the system rotates with some angular velocity. That angular velocity we can call it as common angular velocity. Recall the previous chapter again. Common velocity, in collision we done it. Now common angular velocity. So here from law of conservation of angular momentum before which is equivalent to angular momentum after combining. Before is very clear. Moment of inertia will be added up omega. Then what is the formula? I1 omega 1 plus I2 omega 2 by I1 plus I2. Okay, write it. If one is rotating with angular velocity omega 1 in one direction clockwise, another one is rotating in opposite direction, you can use minus sign here, but moment of inertia will be added. Downside is added. Here you can use negative sign if they are rotating in opposite directions. Okay, if they are rotating in opposite direction, you can write minus sign in between them. Okay, and see, during this rotation maybe there is some loss of energy. So if they ask you to find the loss of energy, just recall the again previous chapter formula. Previous chapter formula, half m1 m2 by m1 plus m2 into v1 minus v2 whole square. m1 m2 will be replaced by what? m1 m2 will be replaced by I1 I2. I1 plus I2. Omega 1 minus omega 2 whole square. If they are rotating in opposite direction, this omega t nothing but plus omega 2. Omega 1 plus omega 2 whole square. So this is the loss of energy in the rotational motion. m1 m2 replaced by I1 I2. So recall all these formulas. Okay, and see some more questions also based on a particle, a body starts with an initial angular velocity, something is given. They are asking to find what is the angular velocity at the end of 5 seconds. So they given some questions in your sheet. Particle starts with an initial angular velocity something 2 radian per second. Then they are asking to find after 4 seconds what its final angular velocity. So use like in kinematics we solved v is equal to u plus at. Here v replaced by some other value, u replaced by some other value, a nothing but alpha. What is a in previous chapter? A in previous chapter is, let me write the link up between linear motion and rotational motion, then you will get some correct idea. After that I will continue rolling motion. Let me get some idea so that let us see the all formulas, that's better I think. Linear motion, write down one side linear motion. Rotational motion. Now I am writing equations of motion in rotatory motion, equations of motion in previous chapters. Previous chapter means kinematics. So in kinematics we know v is equal to u plus at. Okay, we used this formula to find the velocity of the body after a 5 seconds, 3 seconds when body moves with uniform acceleration. I hope you remembered all these things. If a body moves with uniform acceleration, then we find velocity after 5 seconds means we use this formula. Okay, if accelerations are given. If they given uniform speed, no need to apply the kinematic equations. Here v, u are the initial final velocities. Here omega naught, omega are the initial and final angular velocities. Initial and final angular velocities. So final angular velocity omega, it is equivalent to omega naught plus alpha t. Omega naught plus alpha t. Omega is equal to omega naught plus alpha t. What is alpha? Angular acceleration. What is the unit of omega? It's clear I think. Unit of omega is what? Radian per second, otherwise RPM, otherwise one more you know already, RPS. You covered all these things in circular motion, in motion in plane chapter. RPM, RPS. What is RPM? What is 1 revolution per minute? Tell me. 1 RPM. 1 revolution per minute. 1 revolution nothing but 2 pi per minute, 60. So 1 revolution 2 pi radian, minute means 60 seconds. So 1 RPM value how much? Basic things, pi by 30 radian per second. Tell me what is 1 RPS? Per second. So 2 pi radian per second. Okay. Now let me compare both fast. Write down this one. Yeah. See this one. S is equal to ut plus half at square. Here S nothing but what? Theta. Linear displacement. What is theta? Angular displacement. Theta u nothing but omega naught t plus half alpha t square. Because I'm going to use these formulas in the next session only. That's why I'm writing everything now. A wheel is rolling. A wheel is something rolling on some wire with some angular velocity, with some angular acceleration. Let us find how many revolutions it will made. So this theta nothing but 2 pi n. Theta nothing but 2 pi n. For one revolution it will be 2 pi radian. So for n means 2 pi n. Omega naught t half alpha t square. I think you remembered omega as 2 pi by t. I will continue that also. If they ask you to find number of revolutions, just use this formula. Omega naught is the angular velocity, initial angular velocity. Alpha angular accelerations. Okay. Now, you know one more formula in previous chapter. V square minus u square is equals to 2as. Generally, we use this formula when a body comes to rest. If initial velocity, final velocity, if the body starts with something speed u, and if the car comes to rest, then how much the distance covered by the car before coming to rest, if the car starts with some uniform acceleration. So generally, whenever the body will comes to rest, we can go for third kinematic equations. I think you know well. Here also, if the wheel comes to rest, then how many rotations it will made. If they ask like that, you can use v square minus u square is equal to 2as, nothing but here. Let me convert that formula. So v square becomes omega square, omega naught square 2 alpha theta. Okay. So if it comes to rest, then you can take omega as 0 and you can find theta. Okay. How many revolutions it made if a wheel is rolling on, if a wheel is moving, if a wheel rotates, then how many rotations it made before coming to rest. That questions we can find by using omega square minus omega naught square. The rotational equations, kinematic equations in rotational motions. Okay. And other questions. Linear momentum is P is equal to what? mv. Here linear momentum nothing but I omega. Let me convert fast. Force dp by dt, torque dl by dt. Okay. Kinetic energy half mv square p square by 2m. Rotational kinetic energy. This is a translational kinetic energy. Rotational kinetic energy half I omega square p nothing but L square by 2I. Okay. Write down next one. Work done Fs. Rotational work done tau theta. Let us write the equation for rotational power. Linear power we know, work by time. F dot V, I think you remember this one. Rotational power, work by time, this is rotational work done, tau theta by t. So we can write tau bar dot theta by t. So tau bar dot omega. Rotational power. Impulse, just now I written impulse mv ft. Here angular impulse, m nothing but I, v nothing but omega, force nothing but tau, t. So anyhow just now written, so no need to write. And loss of energy, so just now written, so no need to write. Write down these variations and use all these equations to solve some basic questions from your assignment sheet. Now next let me enter into the one more concept, that is rolling motion. So let me continue, let me give some basic idea about rolling motion, and derivations I will continue in the next sessions. So write down the heading, derivations I will continue in the next session. Let me finish some basic idea in this session. Rolling motion. So anyhow we know a rigid body has a translatory motion and rigid body has a rotatory motion, and we know a rigid body has a rolling motion. What is the rolling motion? The combination of translatory motion and rotatory motion of a rigid body, call it as rolling motion. The combination of translational motion and rotational motion, call it as rolling motion. Okay. Now let us suppose a body which is rolling on horizontal surface. Let us see how it rolls. See, this is a wheel. Let us consider a wheel which is rolling on horizontal surface. Wheel is rolling on horizontal surface. R is the radius. And this rolling motion we can divide into two parts. One is the translatory motion of the body, other one is the rotational motion of the body. If you observe the central particle or any particle, see, rigid body means it consists of number of particles. Each and every particle have translational motion and each and every particle have rotational motion. If I consider any particle here, motion, so each and every particle have translational motion, every particle. So this is the pure translational motion. Let me write only the pure translational. This is translational motion. And if every particle rotates about some fixed axis, let us suppose, let me draw one more diagram. So this particle rotates about this axis and this particle rotates. See, let us suppose it rotates with a speed of r omega, because we know Vr, V is equal to r omega, relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. So if the rigid body rotates with an angular omega speed, then Vr is equals to r omega. Okay, if you draw the tangent will give r omega, but let me write like this. So it will have angular speed omega. And here this particle have rotational speed Vr. If I draw the tangent, this tangent have r omega. And here if I draw the tangent, this tangent have speed Vr is equals to r omega. Here if I draw the tangent, this tangent have speed Vr is equals to r omega. And see, if I draw one more tangent, this also have speed r omega. So this is the pure rotational motion. Pure rotational motion, and this is equivalent to rolling motion. Here this particle have translational motion and center of mass also have translational motion, VCM. So the combination is this, combination of translational and rotational. Let us see what are the velocities at each and every point on this rolling body. Let us see what are the velocities at each and every point. Now see, here if we consider the pure translational motion, then center of mass will move with the speed Vcm, this also move with the speed Vcm, each and every particle will move with the speed Vcm, velocity of center of mass, velocity of center of mass. Okay, and here each and every particle moving with a angular speed of omega and linear speed Vr is equals to r omega. If you combine these two, then you will get the rolling motion. And in this rolling motion, we can find speed at each and every point. Let us suppose this is the point A, this is point B, this is something point C and point D. So at point A, this is in contact with here. Let us find resultant velocity at A, B, C, D. Okay, actually there are two types of rollings. Rolling without slipping. Rolling with slipping also there. Now this is rolling without sliding. Sliding, slipping, both are same. Rolling without sliding. Now here, let me find the resultant velocity at A. Okay, let me find resultant velocity at A. A means this is always in contact. So the resultant velocity at A is 0 because the body is in contact with the surface. So in case of rolling without slipping, the contact surface, resultant velocity at the contact surface is 0. Then we can write at A resultant velocity, one velocity is Vcm right side, translational velocity right side, translational velocity right side, and rotational velocity left side. So rotational velocity nothing but r omega left side. Resultant velocity we can write it as Vcm minus r omega, but Vcm is 0 because at A the surface is always, the body is always in contact with the surface. So Vcm I got r omega. So velocity at A is Vcm, velocity of center of mass, which is equivalent to r omega. If they ask you to find velocity at the point B, at point B the linear speed is Vcm right side and the angular speed in this direction. This is angular speed r omega, linear speed in this direction Vcm. Okay, linear speed is Vcm. Now at B directly we can write r omega is the rotational velocity. Okay, the net speed at B we can write it as root of, because the angle between these two is 90 degrees. Directly we can expect actually root of, tell me now, Vcm square plus r omega square plus 2v1 v2 cos 90, 0. Vr, but Vcm is how much? R omega. Otherwise r omega you write Vcm. Any one thing you write it. So r omega square, you will get resultant velocity at B is root 2 times of r omega. Otherwise Vr is equal to root 2 times of Vcm. Vcm is the translational velocity of this rolling body, root 2 times. Tell me at point C, at the top. So at the top Vcm is right side and r omega also right side. Combination. One is linear, other one is angular. Angular speed, linear speed. So Vcm plus r omega. At C net speed is Vcm plus r omega. That is nothing but r omega plus r omega 2 r omega 2 Vcm. Let us see the D. At D the net speed is in this direction. This is the net speed and see this is the net speed. Okay. What is at D? Let me finish at D also. At D angle between these two velocities V speed, that is nothing but r omega. Okay. So angle between those two also 90 degrees. Then resultant velocity at D is Vcm root of Vcm square plus r omega square. Again how much? At D resultant velocity is root 2 times of again r omega root 2 times of Vcm. Not only at this point, we can find everywhere. Here see the direction of the resultant velocity, and here see the direction of the resultant velocity. See at this point, see, and see you draw a normal for this resultant velocity. Okay, I will draw in the next time, you take this up to now. So I calculated. So what is the rolling motion? Rolling motion nothing but combination of translatory motion and rotational motion. So you take up to here, I will continue next one. So this is the pure translational motion. This is pure rotational motion. Rotational motion means r omega. How that r omega will come? When you draw a tangent, the tangent will give VR nothing but r omega. And at this point, net speed is 0 because this body is in contact with the surface. R omega minus VCM is equal to 0, VCM is equal to r omega. At here, perpendicular to each other, root 2 times of r omega. Here double added. Here root 2 times. And observe one thing here, one more new point will come. So that is also not easy, but let me cover here, one word let me cover. For this resultant velocity, you draw a normal. For the resultant velocity, just you draw a normal. Let me draw a normal here. So what about this one completed? Let me explain here only. See, this is the resultant velocity. You draw a normal. So if I draw a normal, see, this is the normal, isn't it? This is the normal line. For this velocity, you draw a normal. For this velocity, you draw a normal line. And for this resultant velocity, see the resultant velocity, you draw the normal line. See, these two are perpendicular. And this point, we can, means the body rotates about this point. The body rotates about this point. Just wherever the resultant velocity is there, for that we can call it as instantaneous axis of rotation. What is that point? Instantaneous axis of rotation or instantaneous center of mass of rotation. So keep the name IAR, instantaneous axis of rotation. What is this name now? This is instantaneous axis of rotation. So instantaneous axis of rotation is nothing but the line along which the rigid body is rotating. Of course, that is axis of rotation in previous one. Okay. Here about this point, the point about which the rigid body is doing rotate. Okay. Here draw a normal for resultant speed. See, this is the resultant speed. Draw the normal. It will strike here. This is the resultant speed. Draw the normal. This is the point. About this point, the rigid body is rotating. And that point you keep in mind, instantaneous axis of rotation. Okay. I will continue this instantaneous axis of rotation. And if they ask you to find speed at here, I will give you one basic formula. Okay. In the next session. So we can find the speed of the particle at this, speed of the particle at here. If they given something 60 degrees, 30 degrees, we can solve easily. So that I will continue. So right now just I started the introduction of rolling motion without slipping. And one more is possible. Rolling motion with slipping also possible. When it slips means if VCM is equals to r omega, this is the condition. VCM is equal to r omega is the condition for a body rolling without slipping. Keep in mind, VCM is equals to r omega is the condition for a body rolling without slipping. If VCM is greater than r omega, if VCM is greater than r omega, then the body slips forward. VCM is more. If VCM is less than r omega, body shifts backward. Okay, VCM is greater than r. So this also I am going to continue in the next session with some mathematical values. And what is instantaneous axis of rotation here? The normal drawn to the resultant velocity or the point at which the rigid body rotates. This is the point at which the rigid body is set into rotation. That point I call it as instantaneous axis of rotation. Okay. See, in this session most of the basic things I covered. Started with angular momentum. I compared the all formulas with the linear motion and written formulas in rotatory motion, and use these formulas to solve your assignment sheet. Okay. So in the next session I will continue somewhat extension of rolling motion. What is the kinetic energy of the rolling body? And when a body rolls on inclined plane, what are the conditions? What are the acceleration, velocity, time? And if three different bodies are rolling down along the inclined plane, which one will reaches earlier to the ground? So those things I am going to cover in the next session. So in this session, most of the basic things are covered. Okay. Thank you.